So in this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to build the most simplest chatbot ever using DeepSeek. Everything we'll be using in this tutorial is absolutely free, so no need to worry. And also, if you are a beginner, don't worry, I'm starting everything from scratch. So even someone with no programming knowledge can even follow and get the same result. All you need to do is to follow the same exact steps, and you are going to reproduce the same results we'll get in this tutorial. First of all, here are the prerequisites. You need some data. Okay, so you need a small data you want to create your chatbot on. So let's say you have a data you want your chatbot to answer questions based on that data. That's exact data we'll need in this particular tutorial. So just get that data in a TST format. If you have it in a PDF format, don't worry, I'll also show you a hack you can use to do the same thing. Next, let's look at the plan. So this diagram demonstrates the plan we'll be following to build this particular chatbot. So first of all, we need to set up our model, and as I said earlier, I'll be setting up a DeepSeek model. We'll load our data, and then we define the function of our chatbot. What exactly will the chatbot be doing? Then the next step is to invoke this chatbot with both the question and the data we have, and we'll get result from this chatbot and display that result. We'll print it on the terminal, and that's the end. So this is the simplest chatbot we can ever build, and we'll follow this exact plan. So everything is going to be very simple. And as we progress, I'll bring back this plan and we'll go step by step so that you understand. All right, so first things first, let's create a new Python file. Let's call this file main.py and hit enter on this. And as a good practice, let's bring up our new terminal and create a virtual environment. So let's create it. Just type Python -m, then you type venv, and then the name of your virtual environment. I always give my name tech, that's all, and hit enter on this. So this will go ahead and create it. So you can see we got tech right here in our working directory. The next thing is to activate the virtual environment before you install your packages. So to activate, just type the name of your virtual environment, which is tech / and then the hack here, which will be very fast for you, is to type S and press tab. It will auto complete it with script. Type A and also press tab and hit enter. So for activating it, you can see we have a green tech here in a parenthesis, and that means our virtual environment is being activated. So I'll collect this terminal and we'll go on and install the libraries we need. So here are all the requirements you need. You need LangChain, LangChain grok, python.env, LangChain community. You can choose to install this one by one, but I will just install all at once since we have all of them in a requirement.txt file. So the simple way to do that is to write pip install and then you type -r and then requirement.txt, which is the file in which they are. Hit enter on this, and this is going to locate this file and install all this library one after the other. Okay, so we got some error. Could not find a version that satisfies requirement LangChain community. Okay, so the spelling of community here is wrong, so I have to type it LangChain community, and all I'll do here is to run the same command. So whilst this is installing, we have to go and get a free model to use. So I always tell you that if you need a free model to use, just go to this particular website, grok.com. So yeah, when you come here, you can see we have a whole lot of stuff. And click on developer free API key to get your API key right here. But you need to sign up first. I already have an account with them, so that's why the process was very easy for me. So you create an API key, and I'll call this API key DeepSeek and just hit submit. And this is going to pop up my API key. I'll copy it, click done, and I'm done with the playground for now. I'll come back. And over here, our installation is done, so I can also clear the terminal, which is quite unnecessary. But I'll create a new file and I'll call this file .env. Hit enter, and then I'll paste my API key here. But before pasting it, I have to give it a name API, or let me just call it key. And this is equal to the key I've created. Save this, Control S and click, and close it, right? So after this, the next step here is to import the libraries we have installed. Import OS, because I'll need OS. I'll also from .env or .env, I'll import load.env. I will need that to also load in my API key. And then to set up the DeepSeek model, we have to import Grok from LangChain Grok. So yeah, from LangChain Grok over here, we have to import chat Grok. Oh yeah, that's it. So this will help us to go ahead and set up our model. All right. So next thing is to load in these API keys that we've generated from that platform. So you have to just type load.env, an instance of the python.env library, and this will help you to load all environmental keys you have in the .env file. Okay. Now after loading it, what you have to go ahead and do is to get our API key. So I'll call it API underscore key, and this is going to be equal to use os.getEnv. So os.getEnv helps you to get API key, and you have to specify the particular key you want to get. In our case, the name is key. So let me come back here, and you can see the name here is key. So you have to type this exact name because you can have more than one API key. So I'll just type this same name right here called key. All right, so this will help me to get my API key. So after getting the API key, I'll have to also specify the model I want to use. So I'll call this model, and this is equal to, for now, we have to go back to the Grok AI website and click on Playground. And over here, you can view the models available, right? So click on the DeepSeek model. So this is the right name you have to type. And if you are lazy like me, who doesn't want to type this whole name, click on view code and just copy this right here. So model is equal to, that's all you need. And you go back into your IDE and paste that same line here. So model is equal to this, and that's it. So this is the particular model we'll be using. So now for the final step, we can now set up this model. So I'll call this model DeepSeek, and DeepSeek is equal to our chat Grok. And inside here, you have to give it your API key and the model you want to use. So our API key is equal to API key, and our model name is equal to our model we've defined at the top. So yeah, so with this, we have just set up this particular model, and we can test this model by invoking it. So let me just print it at once. So print deepseek.invoke, and over here you can say anything, hello. So that's all. So let's test this by running the code and see if it works. And boom, here we go. So you can see the result right here. It came with some additional contents, completion, tokens used, and everything. But the actual output from the model is where, let me see. Hello, how can I assist you today? So that's the actual output. So in case we don't want, which we also don't want, or we don't need all these outputs, we have to define a parser. LangChain gives you the ability to define a parser in order to get only the output, which is hello, how can I assist you today? So that's the only output we need, and we'll import a package from LangChain called a string output parser to handle that. So from LangChain underscore core dot output parsers, then we are going to import the string output parser. So right here, here is it. And we'll come down here and then use this parser. So we'll create a parser, call it parser, and this parser is equal to our string output parser. You just define it like this. And now you can chain this particular parser together with your model, and the output you get will only be this particular string, which is what you are interested in. So for that, let's create a DeepSeek chain. So I'll just call it DeepSeek underscore chain, and this is equal to DeepSeek, and then you use the pipe on your keyboard together to chain it with the parser. Okay, so this is all you need to do. So the output from the DeepSeek model will now pass through this parser, and this parser will only extract the content for you. Okay, all you need is the content, so the parser will extract the content. And to demonstrate that, we can bring this line of code back down here, and we can put it down here. But instead of invoking with DeepSeek, we'll now use DeepSeek underscore chain dot invoke. And now I'll run this again, and you see the difference. All right, so you can see this is the first one, this is the second one. Hello, how can I assist you? So that's what we need. For clarity's sake, let me clear the terminal and run it once again. And here we go. So hello, how can I assist you today? So that's all. Now we can use the parser to just extract the content. All right, so now we have done setting up the model. Let's look at the next step we have from the plan is to load in our data. Okay, so we have to load in the data from this TST file. So for that, you have to also import another LangChain package to handle that. You can read it using Python. That is also that will also work, but I would just like to use the LangChain wrapper. So that's from LangChain community dot documents. So from LangChain community dot document loaders, we will come to import uh, test loader. So I think you have a test loader. And if you have a PDF file, then you can use the PDF loader. So they have a PDF loader. I think it's here. So yeah. So there are a lot of loaders you can use, data loaders you can use based on the type of data you have. In our case, we just have a test data. So there is even no need to import the PDF loader. So let me just get rid of it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and load our data. And I'll come down here and load the data. So to load the data, let's say loader is equal to our test loader we've imported. And in here, you give it the path to your data. So we have the data here called data.txt. It's in the same directory. So I'll just type data.txt, which is my path. And the next thing is to specify the encoding. So encoding, I'm going to use our OG UTF-8 UT. So sometimes if you don't specify it works, but sometimes you can get an error for that. And the next step to get our document, I'll call this document is equal to loader dot, then you have to add load. So this will load all the data we have in this TST file, and we can go ahead and even print it. If you want to print, you can print it. This will load the whole data, and I don't want to run this DeepSeek model again, so let me comment it for now. And let's run this. So this is the data you can see. This is the data contained in that particular file. So it's a simple data I just copied from the internet in order to teach you guys how you can use this to be a chatbot. All right, so now we are downloading our document. Let's visit the plan once again. So the next thing is to define the function of the chatbot, and that's the role this chatbot will be playing. So that's the next step, and I'll come down here and I'll call it a template, and I'll use like a doc string here, and then inside here I'll define the function this chatbot will be performing. So I'll quickly type that in so that I don't waste much time. All right, so you are AI powered chatbot designed to provide information and assistance for people based on the context provided to you only. So yeah, don't in any way make things up. So that's what we are telling it to do. It has to answer questions based on the data we have given it. It shouldn't depend on its own knowledge to answer question. So we have to give it that context. So we'll say context, and over here we'll put in the context right here. We also have to give it a question. So it will take both question and the context and then give us the output. So let me type in question, and over here I'll give it the question. So that's it. So this what the chatbot will be doing, and this our template. If you would like, you can encapsulate this in a parenthesis, which will also work. So let me put it here. All right, so this is the function of the chatbot which you need to define. You guys don't worry, I'll give you this code. I'll put this code on my GitHub. All you have to do is to go through and change some of these things and customize it to your need. So this is the template, and this will work fine. This is the role we want this chatbot to play. The next thing we'll go ahead and do, let's visit the game plan. Now we've defined our function is to invoke our chatbot with both the question and the context. All right, but before we even get into that, this method we are using to create a chatbot only works if your data, you have only small data, which is not bigger than the context window of the particular AI model you want to use. So if you have very large data sets, then you don't have to use this method we are using. You have to make sure your data set or the amount of data you have is not bigger than the context window of the model. The model should be able to handle that much data you are having. If you have more data, I have tutorials whereby I also implemented that using vector database, embedding models, and then retrieval augmented steps. That way is very simple also as well, but that's the unique way to do it if you have a very large data set. So make sure you know the context window size and also the amount of data you have before you try to use this particular method. All right, so I'll go ahead now and define a question. The question will be asking the chatbot. So I'll say question, and this question is equal to a particular question you want to ask the chatbot. So I'll just look through the data and come out with a simple question. So the question we have here, what is PDF passing? And we expect it to give us this particular answer because we have given it a context. So I'll come back here and paste this question here. What is PDF passing? So the next thing now is to format this particular template with both the context and the question. So I'll call this my final template. And this is equal to template dot format. And over here, I'll specify the context is equal to, and you guys guess what is our context? Our context in this case will be our document. So it's better I call this data than documents. So that makes much sense. So our context will be our data, and our question will be equal to our question we've defined at the top. Yeah, so this is our final template, and we'll give this template to our model when we are invoking it together with the question. And that's very simple to do. So we'll call our DeepSeek chain, which is right here, and we'll add dot invoke final template. And that's it. This will return to us the results from the LLM. So let's call it result, or a better name to give this will be the answer. And I'll quickly go ahead and print this answer. And just like this, we are done creating a simple chatbot using the DeepSeek model. So let's test this out. Let me save this and quickly let me run this and let's see. Oh, it seems we are printing the data once again. All right, but it returns the answer for us, but I would like us to rerun this and also make sure we are not printing anything else rather than the answer. So let me comment this. What else am I printing? Okay, I think nothing. Resave this and let's run. Here we go, guys. So the thing with the DeepSeek model is that it thinks before it answers. So let's go through it. So as soon as it got the question, okay, I need to answer the question, what is PDF passing? Because we provided that, of course, based on the provided context. So you can see this is answering the question based on the context we have given it. Let me read through the context carefully to find the relevant information. Looking at the context, there is a section titled, what is PDF passing? It defines PDF passing as extracting and interpreting information from PDF files to get meaningful data like text, blah, blah, blah. So this is the exact definition of PDF passing in our data. And then from there, I should make sure to include the definition and the key points about what it extracts. So this is the model just thinking as human being, okay? Just thinking before it answers. And let's just look at the final answer it gives. A PDF passing the process of extracting, interpreting, and information from PDF files. So it's the same thing we have in our data. And this how you can easily create a chatbot. We can try with different questions. So for that, I'll go through my data once again. And let me see which other question. Okay, let's ask challenges with PDF passing. And this will be the last question, of course. I'll paste this right here. What are challenges? What are some challenges with PDF passing? Let me save this and then run. Over here, you can see it started by thinking, okay, so I need to figure out what challenges with PDF passing. Let me start by recalling what I know about PDFs and passing in general. I remember that PDFs are used a lot. So that's the thinking stage. And then let me see whether it talks about context. Okay, the user provided a context from a document about RAG pipeline and PDF passing. In the context, it is mentioned. So yeah, it got through the context once again. And then now it gives us our answer. So guys, this is a simple way of doing this. And let me say it's a lazy approach though to build a simple chatbot. But if your data, you don't have much data, I think this approach is worth it. It's not very optimal, like optimal way of doing it, and it's not very efficient, but it works. Okay, it works. So let me know what you guys think, if we should integrate this with Streamlit so that we'll have a nice UI where you can answer, or you want a very concrete way of implementing a chatbot with all those functionalities. So let me know in the comment section, and thank you guys for watching.